Your mind is the most powerful tool that you have for creating good in your life. But if it's not used correctly, it can also be the most destructive force in your life. And to take control of your thoughts means to influence the way that you live your life. Choose to be the person who is actively, consciously thinking your thoughts. Be someone who can control your thoughts. Become the master of your mind. I'm not perfect at this. I'm not in control of every thought that I have. But when you do work toward becoming the master of your mind can become quiet and peaceful, and it can become a tool for your benefit. So in this episode, I'm going to give you examples of kinds of transformed thought patterns that you can work towards in your everyday life. Before we get started, go ahead and like this video and subscribe and turn on those notifications if you would like to receive notifications every time I post a new video, which is weekly on Wednesdays. So let's jump into this video. The impact of positive thinking on your work, health, and life is being studied by people who are a lot smarter than me, and one of those people is Barbara Fredrickson. Fredrickson is a positive psychology researcher at the University of North Carolina, and she has published a landmark paper that provides pretty surprising insights about positive thinking and the impacts on your skills and your life in general. Her work is among one of the most referenced papers and cited in her field, and it is surprisingly really useful for our everyday lives. So we're going to talk about some of the concepts that she talks about. And number one is how to increase positive thinking in your life. What can you do to increase positive thinking and take advantage of the broaden and build theory that she talks about using this in your life? Well, anything that sparks feelings of joy, contentment, and love will really do the trick. You probably know what things work well for you. Maybe it's playing the guitar, maybe it's spending time with a certain person, maybe it's carving tiny wooden lawn gnomes. I don't know what it is for you. But with that said, here are three ideas that you could consider. Three things that you could use to spark this joy and this happiness in your life. Number one is meditation. Recent research by Fredrickson and her colleagues has revealed that people who meditate daily display more positive emotions than those who don't. Meditation can really calm you, bring you centered and relaxed. A second one is prompted awareness, which means becoming aware of your thoughts in the middle of your day's events rather than in a meditative setting, setting a trigger for yourself, which will remind you to check in with your thoughts and processes. And Brandon Burchard actually uses reminders in his phone to do this on a daily basis. So setting triggers for mental awareness in your everyday life. And then the third one is play. Scheduling time for play in your life. And yes, we're adults, but we still need to play and have fun. So give yourself permission to smile and enjoy the benefits of these positive emotions by scheduling time to play and adventure, whether that's hiking, going outside, being with your kids, your spouse, your dog, your friends. This can produce a lot of contentment and joy in your life and give you opportunity to experience more. So if you really want to take charge of your mind and your thoughts, which we want to, this first point is to cultivate that positive thinking in your life. And you can do that all of these ways by prompting joy, prompting happiness, and awareness. Prompting awareness is really a key point, but that's the first point. Second, we want to explore and identify our limiting beliefs. What are your most limiting views about your learning abilities? Write them down in detail. Give examples from the past which justify these things you may have struggled with growing up in school, and just be honest with yourself and try to think of all the times in the past where your own beliefs about yourself were a major barrier to your learning. Maybe it was from your high school or your experiences. These things don't need to limit us forever, but identifying the ways that we've been stunted in our growth in the past are really going to help us to move forward. So we want to identify our limiting beliefs to take charge of this positive thinking in our life, because limiting beliefs are really negative thinking that works against us, and limiting beliefs are thought patterns that we don't have control over. So we want to identify them so that we can move forward from them. Number three way to take charge of your mind is to cross-examine yourself. What does that mean? A growth mindset is something that you need to practice consistently over time, just like anything else, just like any habit. So if your limiting beliefs pop up again in your mind, cross-examining yourself means to remind yourself that your ability is under your control. Your beliefs do not limit you. And when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself these 3 questions to really examine yourself further. Ask yourself some of these questions. What are the opportunities for learning and growth that I have today? When, where, how will I act on my plan for growth? And what is keeping me afraid of growing? Reviewing these ideas has been really instrumental in my life because asking some of these questions can prompt you to think deeper about the way you are thinking, the way that you are walking around every day and unconsciously affecting your future. Okay, number 4, you want to create a plan for action. And you may not have a coach that can help you walking through every single day creating an action plan, but just create some opportunities to really lay out on paper everything that you want to accomplish, whether that is now or later in the future. And different ways you can accomplish this are by creating time with a friend that's going to just sit and listen without judgment so you can brainstorm out loud. Maybe set some time aside to focus, and you could write it down, or you could just think about it, have time to just contemplate, and create a list of these things that you have going around in your head, and make a long list of all the stuff that you want to accomplish. And don't dismiss anything, but just play it and lay it down. And this is a great way to kind of take our thoughts, positive, negative, neutral, and put them on paper. And then ask yourself, after you've done with this process, after you've written everything out, what really matters to me? I think that it's really important to have this time of free thinking. And if you're with a friend, you could just be jotting things down and then think about it privately later. Or if you're having this time and you have a list of all these things you'd like to accomplish, take that time to really sit down and think, like, what on this list gives me joy? What on this list gives me anxiety? And how can I start to move toward some of these goals? And just select ones that are really important to you. Cross off the ones that aren't. You know, if they were in your head, you should have written them down, but cross off the ones that aren't. And then with this list, you're going to be able to kind of formulate what's best for you, and then you can build an action plan. And if you are looking for a coach, someone to kind of sit down with you and map out these goals with you, I specialize in passion-centered goal coaching, and I have an 8-week program that can help you walk through A to Z, how to define your passions and the things that are valuable to you, to creating goals for your life and action steps to really accomplish those. So I'm going to link my coaching plan, my coaching program down at the bottom, and I just encourage you to sign up for the wait list. And if this is something that you really want to work on, if you want to tame all the thoughts that are in your mind and find action plans for something that's going to bring you a lot of joy in life, I would love to work with you. So find that down below. Number 5, to take charge of your mind, is listen to your mind like a pro. In my last video where I talked about the 7 changes to really change your life, grow your life, improve your life. That was it. That's the word. I talked about having quiet time to just think and to think about things in silence by yourself, and listening to your thoughts. We don't do that. You know, we have social media telling us what we think all the time. We have people telling us what we think. We're busy and we have lives and jobs that just go so quickly. But if you really want to get the most out of your life, and if you want to change your thoughts in a more positive direction, every thought should be processed. And at the start, you're going to have to kind of structure your thinking. You're going to have to start by creating a process to be aware of where your mind's going so that you don't just start daydreaming. So listen to what your head has to say, and then process it. And if you need to write it down, do. And if you don't take the time to learn how to do this, then ask yourself what impact this could have on your brain. If you want to know more about this, I can't really go into it all right now, but I'm going to link my last video, 7 changes to improve your life, right up there. And there's a section where I talk all about this. But really begin to examine your thought life and take time in quiet where you can think and then identify how your brain is working through different things. So that was kind of a lot of information, but those 5 things I think are really going to help anybody to take charge of the way that they think, take charge of your mind. And our mindset in life is fundamental. That's why there's a whole industry being created on mindset coaches. And it's more important than our inherent ability to learn or to perform, because it has a huge impact on every other area of our lives. Our careers, our relationship, our minds are powerful. So we want to learn how to think and think positively and take charge of our thought life. And finding ways to build happiness and positive emotions in your life, whether it's through meditation or writing, these really provide more than just a momentary decrease in stress and a few smiles, but we want to seek joy. We want to play often and pursue adventure. And in order to do that, your brain is going to need to rest sometimes. Now the time to put in your plans and action is now. Make them happen and make those changes to improve your life. So please comment down below how this is affecting you. Do you think that you have control over your mindset? Do you not? And if you really do, I want to be here to help you if you really struggle with this. So comment down below if this is something that you struggle with. Go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it, so that I can make more videos like this in the future, and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you can be so you can be notified every Wednesday when I post a new video. And I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.